Everybody is speaking out about this. The San Diego Padres are officially the best team in Major League Baseball, according to the MLB Power Rankings, and a large part of it is because we have the best player in baseball. Let's talk about all of it. What's going on, everybody? I'm Christian Pedersen, back with another episode of Padres Digest. Thank you very much for tuning in. This is the part where I need to make my bosses happy and hit you with a real quick, can you hit the subscribe button? It would be awesome. All right, let's talk baseball. I'm going to show you that again. San Diego Padres moving up to the number one slot in the MLB Power Rankings that just dropped. They go from 5th to 1st, and look who they passed. They dethroned the Dodgers to take over this spot. Now, I get that we're early, and they've got a while to go, and yada, yada. There's all sorts of extenuating circumstances. Get out of here with that nonsense. We went into this, maybe not all of us, myself, though, and I think a large amount of the Padres fandom went into this season resigned to being like, Dodgers about to rip off 115 wins, and we got to just get to the playoffs, and then we'll beat them in a 7-game series. And yet we're doing this. It is kind of nuts seeing NL. Like it's the Dodger Giants are in there too. Our nemesis, the Phillies. Obviously, we've done pretty well against the Cubs, but like that's stat. It's going to be hard to get to the World Series through the National League, no matter what route you want to take. But right now, according to all the great baseball minds, the Padres are indeed the number one team in baseball, and a lot of it has to do with this. I don't know if you saw this home run last night, but Fernando Tatis Jr., and this might be the subheading to Padres are number one team in baseball, and then in parentheses, we have the MVP. This guy right here, he's leading Major League Baseball in home runs after that absolute tank. That one was hit a mile. Here's his numbers so far this season. Tatis is hitting extremely well. The top is last season, middle is this season, bottom is his career, just for those of you that are not maybe 100% always dialed in on all the stats. He is on pace for almost 60 home runs. I think he's like 57 home runs and it's like 70 steals is what he's on pace for, or something like that. Dude's going to have himself a hell of a season, even if he cools off a little bit from this, but there's no, I don't see what's slowing him down. Basically, this is it right here. This tweet, I thought, perfectly summarized where we're sitting at right now as Padres fandom. Bunch of runs scored, 2 Tatis bombs, bullpen could beat up Thanos. Vibes are off the chart. What does that mean, though? What are we saying? What does being ranked at the top of a MLB power ranking have anything to do with anything? What does it have to do with the price of tea in China? I'll show you these numbers again. It's the +4 that I think has everything to do with the discussion here. This is not a slow, the Padres started at 7th and went up one slot every game all season long. The Padres are finally going from a team that, people like, hey, like they've got some, like, I feel like we were on our heels. We were pushed back a little bit by the offseason that we had. And now it's this. It's absolute cinema. The Padres are playing their best ball. This is potentially even, I want you to drop a comment on this, is this the best team in franchise history? But more than likely, is this finally the year that Fernando Tatis Jr. gets his MVP? And I think it's no coincidence that they use Tatis as the photo on the graphic. He is the face of the Padres. He is playing like the face of the Padres, and he has us at number 1. Do I want them to remain number 1? Sure, it would be fantastic. I don't love the thought of going like wire to wire number 1. There's something just kind of voodoo-y in sports about, I don't always love the 1 seed, but this is a sign that the Padres are no joke. This is, like I said, on our heels. We're going from reeling from losing Jurickson, Profar, Ha-Seong Kim, and missing out on Roki Sasaki to being like, what even was that phase of our lives? None of that matters. Get out of here. We can even miss out on a couple of weeks of Jackson Merrill, Darvish, and Musgrove are still going to come back later. And that's why I say hit the subscribe button, because we've got videos on all of those guys breaking down the latest on their injuries and the impact they will have on the team. But this team is going to get better. And yes, there will be regression. I bet Tatis probably has a couple games where he doesn't get a few hits. And yes, there will be bumps and bruises and ebbs and flows. We've already seen Tatis miss a couple games swinging his shoulder just out of the groove or whatever. I still think, though, that when you're talking about where the Padres are, that they are making this kind of a leap in terms of national recognition and in terms of how well they are playing right now, that you can still project out that they will get better as the season goes on. Old saying goes, play your best baseball at the end of the year. Padres still obviously want to do that. Padres will always want to do that. And I think, though, that for me, we're looking at this and it's like, this is only 6 home runs into a 40, 50, 60 home runs. Like, the Padres still are going to play their best baseball later this season. The Padres are going to figure it out. Like, Dylan Cease will start to pitch consistently. The bullpen can't get much better, but the bullpen will add a couple more arms. Kyle Hart's looking great. Like, you go down the checklist, the Padres are already playing fantastic baseball, but I still think they can get better. And with all of that still to come, you got to assume that feeds back into further support for Fernando Tatis to continue his MVP campaign. Now, there will always be some bias towards larger markets, and a lot of this is that it's the baseball writers of America and people that are not necessarily the most unbiased, maybe. And I know that that's coming from somebody who is, or the most biased. Like, they're not the most objective. I am not. I am biased. I am not objective. I am a Padres fan. I obviously want to talk about Tatis being great, but I think that we are really setting ourselves up here for, look, if the Padres right now have a guy hitting like this, we're 20 games into the season. He has already had a little bit of a hitch in his swing and a little whatever, call it an injury, call it a this, call it a that, call it anything you want to call it. Just don't call it him slowing down. Call it absolute cinema. That's what this season has been so far. And the movie title is Fernando Tatis, MVP, subcategory Padres Best in Baseball. See, look at that. My own talking, I've come full circle on it this video. Let me know, though, what you think. Is this going to be Tatis's MVP season? Can he maintain this pace? Is he going to accelerate this pace and get even better? Drop that down in the comments section. And as I said at the beginning, it would be fantastic if you could hit that subscribe button. The last time I will ask for it today, I will say until next time, we'll talk to you soon, Friar Faithful.